I'll tell you a good story. I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
They took what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin.
Fenbendazole.
Fenbendazole, yeah.
That
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
There's studies on that now where people have proven that
Wow. That was a clip from Joe Rogan's podcast when he interviewed the actor Mel Gibson, and it went viral overnight. And suddenly, Fenbendazole, a dog dewormer, is the latest miracle cancer cure. Well, I'm a breast cancer surgeon, and it's time to find out, is this real hope or dangerous fiction? But we need to go back to the beginning and find out why someone thought a dog dewormer could cure them. Now, most roads, when you do a bit of searching, lead back to one man called Joe Tippens. Now, he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer back in 2016, and he was told that he had 3 months to live. The lung cancer isn't nice, and conventional treatment options were looking really bleak. And desperation led him to take Fenbendazole. And guess what? His cancer vanished. The Joe's protocol, which also included supplements like curcumin and CBD oil, spread like wildfire online. In September 2019, a South Korean YouTube channel profiled Joe's story. His case then spread rapidly through Korean cancer forums and onto Facebook, you name it. A viral YouTube segment got over 2.5 million views in just 3 months. Vet pharmacies reported national shortages of Fenbendazole because cancer patients were buying it in bulk. Joe's book became a bestseller overnight. Facebook groups popped up with dedicated to Fenbendazole miracle cures, and alternative cancer coaches began recommending it in their own courses and books. Testimonials started popping up everywhere of people who said they were cured. And while testimonials are okay, they're not scientific proof. So is there any actual scientific data to prove that Fenbendazole can cure cancer? Now, I managed to find 2 academic papers published this year in 2025. Each one discusses 3 case reports for a total of 6 people with 6 different cancers, whose cancers all disappeared after taking Fenbendazole. Now, there are viral videos on retired nurse Dr. John Campbell's YouTube channel, and he reads out the papers, he reviews them at length, calling Fenben a miracle cure and demanding more research, saying our doctors are hiding it from you, what's going on? Now, I had a look at the papers, and I'm going to focus on the woman with breast cancer, as that's my area of expertise. So she was an 83-year-old lady who was diagnosed with stage 4 incurable breast cancer. It had sadly spread to her liver, spine, pelvis and lungs. Now, John tells us that she was sent home on hospice care and started taking Fenbendazole daily. A few months later, her tumour markers had fallen and her scans were clear. And as an added bonus, there were no side effects from the drug. And guess what? She's still in remission 3 years later. I mean, wow, that is incredible. I don't know about you, but it definitely made me stop scrolling. Is this really the answer to cancer? And why didn't it hit the major headlines, the cancer conferences I've been to this year? Why are pharma companies hiding it from doctors like me and patients like you? If it were true, then surely trials would be popping up all over the place. Hold that thought. I'll come back to our lady in a bit, because I need to give you a bit more information on how Fenbendazole actually works. It's used to treat worms in dogs, cats, horses and livestock. Now, the worms are parasites living in the bowels of dogs, and Fenbendazole is very effective at killing them. And at the moment, it's not licensed for humans. And that means you can't go and buy it from a pharmacy and your doctor can't prescribe it to you. But when you dissolve Fenbendazole and you give it to cancer cells in a laboratory, some really cool things happen. It disrupts their internal structure, it interferes with their metabolism and triggers cell death. Wow, I mean, this is just incredible. And there's a study in 2018 that showed that when scientists gave it to mice, their tumours shrank. Surely it's got to do the same in humans. And when someone says, I had terminal cancer and I took Fenbendazole and I'm alive, your brain fills in the rest. And when you're scared and you're desperate and doctors can't cure you. You want that story to be true. I've had those thoughts because I've had cancer myself. But mice aren't mini humans, and cells in a petri dish are definitely not like you and me. But what about the side effects? Are there really none? So all we have to go on are a couple of case reports written up by doctors in medical journals. Now, the patients in the papers John Campbell talked about didn't have any side effects, so surely it must be safe. But I managed to find a couple of case reports that told a different story. There are 3 cases of women with incurable cancer, stage 4, who took fenbendazole and developed severe liver damage or liver failure, and that can kill you. Now, you might be thinking, Dr. Liz, hang on, that's only 3 people. They could be the exception, not the rule. And you might be right. But there isn't any data because it's not licensed for humans. We simply don't know. Now let's go back to Joe. Did he really cure stage 4 lung cancer with fenbendazole? The thing is, what's normally left out when people tell Joe's story is that he was also having immunotherapy with a drug called Keytruda. Now, this is used to treat lung cancer patients with great success. We also use it in people with breast cancer. So the most likely explanation is that Joe had a great response to Keytruda and fenbendazole did nothing at all. And yet fenbendazole gets all the credit and we have no way of proving it. And what about a lady with breast cancer? So she was originally diagnosed in 2009 and her cancer came back over 20 years later in 2021. Now, it was sensitive to estrogen, just like mine is. And she started taking fenbendazole herself and her medical team started her on hormone-blocking injections. They're the same ones I have in my bum. I'm actually getting mine tomorrow. She also had radiotherapy to the lesions in her spine. Now, 6 months later, there was no evidence of active disease. The doctors stopped her injections, but she kept taking the fenbendazole. So when someone says she was on hospice, she took Fenben and now she's cured, it proves it works, you believe them. They're not giving you the full story because they are skipping 3 massive facts. Number 1, she had proven effective endocrine therapy that can keep some women in remission for years. Number 2, she had radiotherapy to treat her spinal mets. And the big one, number 3, the authors of the paper explicitly say that they cannot prove Fenben cured her or link it to her remission. And there's one more reason why I'm fairly certain fenbendazole had little to do with Joe Tippens or this lady's cancer cure. And that's because fenbendazole is poorly water soluble. Now, what does that mean? It means that almost all of the drug, when you take it, stays inside your bowel instead of getting out into your blood. Now, this is great if you're a dog with worms because the parasites are in your gut and that's where the drug is to kill them. But if you're a human, most of it ends up in the toilet. Now, the only way scientists got it to work on those experiments on human cells in the lab was by dissolving it in a solvent. Now, to get around this, you'll hear people online telling you to take fenbendazole with olive oil to help it dissolve. And this might work, but we have no idea whether this is safe or what dose you should be taking or what the side effects will be or whether it will interact with any of the other medications you're on. Now, there are trials looking at human dewormers and derivatives of fenbendazole that are licensed for humans, but we are a long way off from knowing whether it's safe or whether it's effective or whether it will prolong your life. And what about all those people saying that Big Pharma are hiding it from us? It's nonsense. Fenbendazole is cheap. It's off patent and it's really easy to get hold of. And if Joe Tippens was the first miracle cure from Fenben, there would have been hundreds of trials to prove it wasn't a one-off. But there aren't. It's been almost 10 years and there aren't any. The evidence isn't there to prove it can cure cancer. Now, I'm not here to shame or blame anyone who's tried it. If you've got cancer, especially stage 4 disease, you're going to be terrified. You're going to be scared. You're going to be willing to try anything in the hope it will keep you alive. I get it. I've had cancer too. I've watched my own mum die of incurable bone cancer. But please, think twice before swallowing dog dewormer based on a viral video. If you're curious about taking repurposed drugs, those are drugs given for one symptom that might work on another, Talk to your oncologist about actual clinical trials. Things like metformin, fenbendazole and statins are being investigated so we can find out what the right dose for you is, what the side effects are. Make sure they don't interact with your other medicines as they could do more harm than good. And if this video has helped you make sense of the noise, please share it with someone who's feeling overwhelmed. If you want to find out more about other viral cancer claims, check out this video on turmeric and find out just how dangerous it could be, especially if you've got breast cancer. I'm Dr. Liz, and thanks for watching.